So welcome to the part 59. We will look at more questions today. So if you have not yet subscribed, do so. It will help you with certifications. There are a lot of videos in the paid section. Cloud Kernel or Cloud Ninja membership is what you will have to take. Let us look at this question now. See, there is a content management system. What is a content management system? Something like FileNet Documentum, which will manage your documents, or it may be contracts, it may be PDF files, so on. And this system is running on EC2 instance. What is EC2 instance? It is a compute. It is a full server compute, not serverless, but it has a server. You have to manage the platform, and it is having a lot of compute capacity. So normally we put applications, whatever applications you may have in your on-premises, you can take it and put it in EC2 instance. That is possible. So this application has two components. This application has two components. What? Web server, okay, and a database. Both are put on EC2 instance. Simple. You got the question. Now, since we have put it, what is the requirement, boss? You want to make it highly available. You want to make it highly available, and you should be able to scale up, scale down, just like your underwears. This system should have a lot of elasticity built in. Now you have to recommend a solution. You are a solution architect. You have to recommend a solution. Option A says, let's move the database to RDS. That is fine, perfectly fine, because RDS is a managed database coming in from AWS. It is a relational database service, manages relational databases for total cost of ownership and etc. But will this option be a good option? Will it be highly available? They are saying we will spawn the EC2 instance in the same AZ. If everything, like if these two yellow boxes both are in the same availability zone, and for some reason that availability zone crashes, you are screwed up, right? Your application goes down. So your application is not highly available with this option. Even with option B, even though we are saying Aurora, which is much better than RDS because it has high availability and high scalability options, much better managed AWS service. So same availability zone will not make it highly available. You want high availability. Now option C looks good. Why? Because it says I will go to another AZ, which is fantastic. Second thing is it is making use of Aurora, which is fantastic, better than RDS. Third thing, it is highly available. Why? Because it will put the load balancer and EC2 instance in two AZs, and it will also make use of auto scaling groups. See, auto scaling groups helps with scaling up the EC2 instance. If the load increases, it will add more EC2 instance, more compute. Load goes down, it will remove the extra fat, extra compute. Now, this looks correct from all angles. See, the problem with D is it is telling boss, I will not use any of the AWS ready-made services. Swiggy is giving you food, but this guy is saying, boss, I will still cook. If you put the database on EC2, you will have to manage it. So it's like self-cooking versus ordering from Zomato or Swiggy. That is where AWS don't like to I mean they don't want you to put all applications on EC2, databases on EC2. They want you to know that other than EC2, what can you use? So this is wrong. Even though this option is making use of two AZs for EC2 and auto scaling group, but the first option where the database they will keep on EC2 is wrong, because I have a better option in option C. This is a far better option. Now, this one is our next question. See, this there is a company, okay, and they have both dev and production environment. So suppose this box is your dev environment and this box is your production environment, okay. They have both these environments, and the production environment will have a lot of high traffic. But what you have to do is you have to configure development environment most cost effectively. See, you cannot make cost effectiveness in production because it has high traffic. So you will need to put more resources there. But development, you can do some cost effectiveness. How will you do? Will you reduce the size of EC2 instance? Will that make it cost effective? See, instead of size, first you reduce the number of EC2 instances. Okay, that should be our goal. We should not look at reducing the size of EC2 instance, but we should reduce the number of EC2 instances. And A is saying that we should have only one EC2 instance in target group. That is not allowed, boss. You should have at least two EC2 instances. No? So that's why A will not fit here. And B says change ALB balance algorithm to least outstanding requests. That means the request which has come new, uh, they should they should get first priority. So that prioritization will not help here. You want to reduce the cost. So that in the queue, whom to take first, whom not to take first will not help in this case. See, we should reduce the number of EC twins first thing in development box. And you already have auto scaling group, right? So if you reduce the EC2 instance in the auto scaling group, it will still work. It will be cost effective. This is the next point. See, in this question, you have this EC2 instances, and then you have ALB here. This round box is ALB. The problem is these guys are in private uh, subnet. So this when this guy is trying to talk to these guys, he is not able to talk. That is a question. So you have to solve it. What will you do? See, D will work here in this case because D is saying that let us create a public subnet and so suppose this green box is a public subnet and this is your private subnet. They're saying, boss, create public subnet. Let this guy talk to the private subnet and it will solve it. Now, that is our question. The route to the route tables, this is possible. The natting alone will not work here. So A is wrong. And B is saying that boss, you forget private subnet, you move to public subnet. Okay. So that is also wrong. You have to maintain the privacy, so you cannot tell them to come to public subnet. So simple thing. This is so wrong. And C says let's update routing tables since to send 00 traffic through the internet gateway. That means a traffic coming from anywhere. This is a very crude way of doing it. You can easily do it using option D. Please subscribe. We will see you in the next part.